So it is a surprisingly calm morning here in Southampton, and today we are looking at this. Now, you may be wondering what this is, and yes, it is a boat, but it's not any boat. This is technically a hotel. You can book this for a stay on Airbnb or booking.com or even directly with the owners, and I shall leave some contact details down below. In a time where hotels are becoming quite expensive, as it turns out, staying on a boat isn't. Let's go and take a look and I'll show you around. Absolutely gorgeous morning this morning. Last night it wasn't quite like this. I'll insert a little clip. It was quite literally a storm. So this is 62 foot. It's a birchwood, so British make, and the platform's a bit of a tricky one to get into, but there we are, we're in. And the boat is called Ohana. There's a lot of details like this around the boat. It's actually very lovely. Now I'm filming this at the end of December, or mid-December, and yeah, you feel it. But in the summer you can imagine this would be an absolutely lovely place to sit, have a drink, and we also have the flybridge as well, which we'll talk about shortly. Now under here we have two engines, but I'm not going to go too much into those because maybe one day in the future we might be able to take this out. I don't know, that's one for the owners. We have the red jet coming in. It's absolutely awesome. I've got to say, it is a lovely morning. I know I keep saying that, but anyway, back to the boat. So firstly, we're going to head up to the flybridge and then we'll talk about the rest of the boat shortly. And the reason for that is it's about to rain in about 20 minutes, so it's December in the south of England. So up here there is a lovely seating space, and as you can see, this is, although it's obviously a boat, it's not quite nautical. This actually works more like an apartment complex or a hotel. It functions more as an actual place to stay. On a boat, this would actually be full of gubbins that are related to like storage and all of that. Whereas if you're just here for a night, you don't need fender lockers and all of that stuff. So this is a really workable space as a space to enjoy in the summer. Now, of course, we have the bimini here as well. So in the summer, that will provide a little bit of shelter. Now, we've got to have a look at some of the switchgear here because it's nice to know what we're working with. So we have a bow thruster, trim there. Oh wow, that's cool. You've got your trim settings here on a rotary dial. I haven't seen that in a very long time. And this here, these are, you'll have to correct me in the comments, but these are like Bennett stabilizers. You will have to let me know down in the comments. And we should just put that on there. Now you can actually get back into the saloon from up here, but we'll go around the back way because I don't believe it's open from the side at the moment. No, it isn't. Now what's quite interesting for a boat this size is that it actually has these steps. Normally 60-foot plus boats would have a form of staircase, but you'll see why they've tried to save on some interior space in a bit. We will get to that. Right, now let's go and have a look around the decks. That awesome Ohana sign there. Love that. Now it is worth saying, if you see a little bit of dirt around, that's because I've booked this in the middle of December. This is very much out of season for boat stays on the south coast. And even though it is very cold outside, last night we were lovely and warm in the cabin. So there's a few things that we should probably talk about. Firstly, down here, it's currently locked. That is a crew cabin in the bow. Very strange, not something I've actually ever seen before, but I will show you what that looks like from the master cabin, which is here. You'll see where that sits in the context of the boat. And then here we have some storage and locker space, and I mean, you all know how that works. Right, let's just take a walk down the side deck. And we shall go down into the cockpit and go into the saloon. So let me just shut the door. One more look at that view. It is a lovely morning in Southampton. So although this is a British boat, it's very American in the sense that the entrance to the saloon is primarily used for socializing spaces. Also, more modern boats, they tend to have a galley aft layout. Obviously the galley in this is not back here, and we shall show you that a bit later on in the tour. But as a socializing space goes, this is actually a very, very, very nice space to be. It's comfortable enough for quite a few people to sit around, And over here as well, we have a bar. And I also want to say that the headlinings in this boat, although that's not dirt, that's because it's like a suede material. The headlinings in this boat are absolutely wonderful for the age. I'm not sure if these have been reconditioned, but I'm going to assume so. Now back here we have a bar, and this is kind of like the first hint of kind of a galley aft sort of layout. There's no cooking facility here, it's just a fridge, a bar. You'll have to ignore our bags on the floor. We stayed on this last night and we're vacating the boat today. Some fun little hats. Now moving up here, if I just turn around, so of course we have those steps up to the flybridge. Surprisingly really easy to get up and down from, and this is where we're going to turn around towards this dining area here. Now for us personally, this space here seemed far more social than down there. I feel like those sofas are almost too far apart from each other. I don't know, if there was a table in the middle there, like a removable table, that would probably make more sense, but this was actually a much more sociable space. You can also imagine this from the perspective of, say, if you are out on water. Obviously this is only available as an Airbnb, not a charter, but this space here is really social with the skipper. And then going back over here, of course, we have, these look like newer controls. I'm not sure, I'm not too clued up on birchwoods. In fact, this is the first birchwood I've ever looked around. But as you can see from the dash, everything is analog, which arguably is much better. Absolutely awesome. Now that is a unit. And of course we have the Raymarine C120 here. This is very typical of like the mid 2000s sort of period of boats to like maybe 2010s. So obviously this is newer than the boat itself. I've got to say as well, that is a lovely wheel to have at the helm. And if you can hear some background noise, there are dehumidifiers being ran around the boat, which is what we like to see. Well, this is an impressive switch panel. Very analog, very cool. I'm a big fan of this. So here we can actually see a layout of the boat. So it's a Birchwood TS54, and it's a 54 because back in the day they used to measure the length of the boat from the waterline. So the length of the boat would actually be this line here. So this is a 54 footer, but in reality it's actually 62 foot long. It's really cool. I love all of the, you know, the 80s style analog stuff. Big fan of that. And then over here we have these sort of demisters. I'm not sure how well you can see those. We shall lean over so you can see them. These are to demist the windscreen, which on a day like today, if you're going out, you probably would need. However, it is lovely and warm in here. Right, now we are going to move down to the accommodation and the galley. There's also absolutely tons of storage in this boat. We're not going to go through all the storage. You don't need to know all of that. Now here we are in the galley. So the galley is actually being reconditioned. It's actually quite nice. Also, you see this more in modern boats now. This was very forward thinking. So allowing some light to come forward from that massive front screen illuminates this whole galley quite nicely. Now the host did leave some more things for us. We ate them, but there was some snacks. But in here everything's very nice, colour matched. You've got an electric grill, which is actually very interesting because boats of this era tend to all be gas, probably been converted. And of course we have the fridge. Now I'll show you the master cabin last. Firstly, we're going to go down these steps. So this boat actually has 3 bathrooms. I believe this is a double, and it also has the Pullman berth above, so you can get like that extra bunk above it. And of course, I mean, you can see how deep this wardrobe is. That's substantial storage. And of course, we have a light behind the door and proper radiators. That's when you know you're getting to big boat territory, where you can put proper radiators in it. Now we are going to head into this heads here. So we have the heads here, but you can also see this track in the ceiling. This is for the shower curtain to pull around, and this basically becomes a full wet room. Also, it has an extractor fan in it, which isn't that common for boats. So it's really nice to see. It helps to keep this kind of dry, less humid, especially being a wet room, which is a big problem for boats. Wet rooms tend to become quite damp and humid. This is nice and dry. And of course, there we have a really good sized sink, and overall this is a decent size kind of ensuite. It's genuinely impressive for the size of the boat. Now if we leave here and we go around this way, this is another cabin. So you can see the door here, and to give you some perspective here, the galley's just there, and these steps go up towards the saloon and out to the cockpit. So coming in here, you can see that we have 2 single berths there, and that space in the middle isn't small. That is as big as it looks on camera. It feels like you could fit another bed in there. absolutely monumental amounts of space for a long week on board, never mind an evening or a weekend. And as you can see from these portholes, they're letting quite a substantial volume of light. I also wanted to show you these are like the original heating and air conditioning controls. They're genuinely so retro, and I actually think they look really cool. Interestingly enough, upstairs the master control terminal for this actually works. I'm not sure if these ones do, but yeah, it still works. That's really cool. Now, facing away from the beds, we have once again a enormous cupboard, the same as the one in the other room. But if we open this, we have once again a pull around curtain rail for this shower. We have the head, and of course we have a sink. I love that they've put big mirrors in here. It really, more than anything, obviously it's practical, but it really helps with the light in here. You can see the light shining off the water, bouncing into this room. Considering that there's a lot of rooms on this boat in varied places, it should be darker than it actually is. I'm not sure how well that will come through on camera, but it is quite nice and bright in here. And let's shut that. I love these door handles. And this brings us to the last cabin, which is the master cabin. Now this cabin's very interesting because of the shape of it. Most people expect this to be a V-berth, but it's not. So as you can see, the headboard is against the port side of the bow. And what this means is behind here, we have the crew cabin. Now, like I said, unfortunately, I can't show you that. I will try and find some images online of a crew cabin in one of these birchwoods and overlay that here. But yeah, this layout is very strange, but I don't understand why more boat manufacturers don't do it. It makes it easier to make the bed, easier to get around both sides, and also gives you more space around here. So you have this love seat thing. I'm not sure what the correct term is for it. I know James from boats.co.uk calls it a sock cushion, I think, a sock seat, whatever, sock sofa. You also, for the age of the boat, the sheer volume of plug sockets is not something to be scoffed at. They are absolutely everywhere. Now, also storage is not a problem in this cabin. There is storage in down here, turning around, big cupboard in there, and of course in there. Now, this brings us to the ensuite. So, if we open this, you can see how bright it is in there. I was going to put the light on. I will do it anyway. Absolutely no need to. So in here we have, of course, the head. And we also have this shower. Now, I'm not sure how well the scale of this shower shows up on camera, but it is quite big. It's genuinely, considering this has 3 bathrooms on it, with 3 showers and 3 heads. And of course we have the sink, and the owners have left some things like soap, shampoo and stuff, so you're not left without. Something else that we haven't mentioned is that there is no day head in this boat. So the only heads on this boat are the ones that are linked to a cabin, whether it's an ensuite or whether it's... Actually, no, they are all ensuites. So this leaves us with one last thing to discuss, and for that, we're going to head outside. Very impressive sunrise this morning. So, why would you want to book something like this, and what would the use case be? Well, obviously you've got the romantic weekend away, if you've got some work commitments down here, but what else could there be? Well, if you're going on a cruise ship and you need to come down the night before to avoid all of the traffic and the rush from getting on your cruise ship, wow, those seagulls are noisy, Jesus. If you want to avoid all of the rush, well, that's where we need to turn around, because that's the car park there for the cruise terminal, and there's ferry and cruise terminals all around here, all around this area. So a really good use case for staying here is that if you're going on a cruise ship the night before, you can pop down here, and also there's option as well to store your vehicle, parking, everything. In terms of getting here, very easy. Drive up to the marina entrance. The Airbnb host gives you a code for the gate so you can get in. You can access the showers in the marina, so if you didn't want to shower on board, to be honest, the showers are absolutely massive on board, you'll be absolutely fine. But yeah, it's really useful. Now this brings us to the next thing, the cost. Not of the boat. I mean, you can buy the boat, maybe the owners will sell it, but the next thing is the cost. So I was either looking at staying on this or in the Harbour Hotel. This per night was only £10 more than staying in the Harbour Hotel. It is worth bearing in mind we are out of season, but this can sleep 6 people. The bedroom in the Harbour Hotel could only sleep 4 people, and 2 of those would be on a sofa bed. Now, one more piece of clarification: I was not paid to do this review. I'm not incentivized to say anything positive or negative about the boat. I just think that this is substantially better than staying in a hotel and you wake up in the morning to that view. Stunning. Anyway, if you did enjoy today's video, please make sure to like and subscribe. This is my first video on the channel. There will be more coming soon. In fact, throughout January and February, I'm fully booked up filming some lovely boats along the south coast. There's going to be tours coming up, there's going to be filming on the water, there's going to be all sorts of stuff. So yeah, if you do enjoy the channel, please make sure to like and subscribe, and I shall see you all shortly.